You just clicked on what looks like the deal of a lifetime, a luxury cruise for half price, all inclusive, sailing next month. But what if that bargain quietly doubles your costs and turns your dream vacation into a stressful money pit? Stay with me. Hey everyone, welcome back to the My YouTube Cruise Line channel. If you're planning a cruise or even just dreaming about one, this video is for you. We're diving deep into the dark side of cruise deals, the red flags and pitfalls hidden in promotions that can absolutely ruin your trip. I'm calling these the 10 banned items. Think of them as the 10 booking traps you should officially ban from your process. We'll go countdown style from 10 to 1, and for each one, I'll explain exactly what it is, why it's so dangerous, how it can wreck your vacation, and most importantly, how to spot and avoid it. Let's jump in. Number 10, the fake urgency tactic. Book now or lose it forever. This is when ads scream, only 3 cabins left at this price, or deal ends in 24 hours, book immediately. It creates panic, so you click and pay without thinking. Why ban it? Cruise pricing is dynamic. The same urgent deal often sticks around for weeks or even months. The pressure stops you from comparing ships, reading reviews, or checking the official cruise line site. People rush in, book the wrong itinerary or a ship that doesn't match their vibe, then spend the whole trip regretting it. One couple I heard about booked a last-chance Bahama sailing in a panic, only to realize later the ship was under renovation and half the amenities were closed. Their relaxing vacation became constant disappointment. How to avoid it? Screenshot the ad, close the tab, and wait 24 to 48 hours. Check the cruise line's official website directly. If the deal is real, it'll still be there. Never let artificial urgency make decisions for you. Number 9, the buy one, get one free price inflation trap. You see buy one, get one 50% off, or second passenger free. Sounds amazing, right? But cruise lines often inflate the first passenger's price dramatically, so the free or discounted second ticket still costs what 2 normal tickets would. Why ban it? You end up paying the same or more while thinking you scored a deal. This ruins trips when budgets get stretched thin and you can't afford excursions, drinks, or tips you expected to have money for. Travelers frequently report the total cost after BOGO matching or exceeding regular rates. How to avoid it? Always calculate the per-person price and compare it to the same sailing without the promotion on the official site. Ignore the flashy headline. Focus on the final total for both passengers. If it doesn't feel like a genuine discount, walk away. Number 8, hidden port fees, taxes, and government charges. The advertised price looks incredible, $499 for a 7-night cruise. Then at checkout, you discover $200 to $400 plus per person in port fees, taxes, and government charges that weren't clearly shown up front. Why ban it? These mandatory fees are real, but often buried or minimized in promotions. They can add 20 to 40% to your total cost, turning a cheap cruise into an expensive one and blowing your vacation budget before you even sail. Many first-time cruisers feel cheated and stressed the whole trip worrying about money. How to avoid it? Always look for the total price, or including taxes and fees, on the official booking page. Use tools like Cruise Critic or the line's own calculator. If the site hides the full amount until the last step, that's a major red flag. Close the tab. Number 7, misleading all-inclusive claims that exclude the basics. Promotions shout all-inclusive cruise, but once on board, you realize it only covers the cabin and basic meals. Drinks, Wi-Fi, gratuities, specialty restaurants, and excursions are all extra and expensive. Why ban it? You board expecting a carefree vacation and instead face constant upselling and surprise charges that add hundreds or thousands to your bill. This turns relaxation into nickel and diming and can create real financial stress mid-trip. How to avoid it? Read the fine print of every all-inclusive claim. Ask specifically, does this include gratuities, drinks, Wi-Fi, specialty dining? Compare packages across lines. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, and others have very different definitions. Know exactly what you're getting. Number 6, deals from unauthorized or shady travel agents. You find an incredible price through a random website, Facebook group, or travel agent offering huge discounts or rebates. They seem legit at first until problems arise. Why ban it? Many operate illegally through commission rebating, banned or restricted by most lines, or outright scams. You risk losing deposits, having bookings canceled, or discovering at the terminal that your reservation doesn't exist. One common story, passengers arrive at the port only to learn their deal was never actually booked. Ruined trips, lost money, and major stress. How to avoid it? Book directly with the cruise line or through a verified CLIA-affiliated travel advisor. If someone offers a cash rebate or a price significantly lower than the official site, it's almost always a red flag. Number 5, bait and switch on cabins or itineraries. The promotion shows beautiful balcony cabins at a low price. You book, then get an inside cabin or a completely different sailing date, or the itinerary changes dramatically after booking. Why ban it? You picture yourself waking up to ocean views every day, but instead you're stuck in a dark room or visiting ports you didn't want to visit. This kills the excitement and can make the whole vacation feel like a letdown. How to avoid it? Book refundable or flexible fares when possible. Screenshot all promotional images and details, confirm your exact cabin category and itinerary in writing before paying the final balance. Number 4, free cruise or you want a cruise scams. You get a letter, email, or social media message, "Congratulations, you've won a free cruise. All you pay are port fees and taxes." Why ban it? These are classic scams. The fees often exceed the cost of booking normally, the dates are extremely limited, or the company disappears after taking your money. People have lost thousands and had their vacations canceled at the last minute. How to avoid it? Legitimate cruise lines rarely give away free cruises to random people. If it sounds too good and comes unsolicited, delete it. Always book through official channels. Number 3, forgetting or hiding mandatory gratuities. Many promotions advertise a low base fare but don't clearly show the automatic daily gratuities, about $16 to $18 per person per day, that get added to your bill. Why ban it? These charges are unavoidable on most lines and can add $200 to $300 plus per person for a week. If you didn't budget for them, you're suddenly short on spending money for souvenirs, photos, or extra drinks, turning a fun trip into one filled with awkward money conversations. How to avoid it? Factor in gratuities from the very first price check. Many lines now show total price including gratuities options. Use them. Number 2, the too good to be true price that signals a scam. A 7-night Caribbean cruise for $299 per person? Unrealistic prices are everywhere on shady sites and social media. Why ban it? If the price is dramatically lower than every other reputable site, you're either looking at a scam or a heavily restricted, low-quality product that will disappoint. People lose deposits or arrive to find no reservation at all. The emotional and financial hit can ruin the entire vacation experience. How to avoid it? Cross-check prices on the official cruise line website and at least 2 trusted booking platforms. If it's way cheaper everywhere else, it's not a deal, it's a trap. Number 1, skipping the fine print and terms and conditions. This is the biggest one, the mother of all pitfalls. People get excited by the headline, glance at the price, and click book without reading the full terms. Why ban it? The fine print reveals everything: strict cancellation policies, what's really included, change fees, blackout dates, and liability limits. Ignoring it is how people end up stuck with non-refundable deposits on cruises they can't take, or surprised by major restrictions that make the trip far less enjoyable. This single mistake has ruined more vacations than any other on this list. How to avoid it? Force yourself to read every word before paying. Use the browser's find function to search for words like non-refundable, fees, cancellation, and exclusions. If anything feels unclear, call the line or a trusted advisor before booking.
Remember when loyalty meant something? You stuck with a cruise line for 10, maybe 20 years because they treated you like family. The contract was simple. You knew what you were paying for and what you were getting. But as 2026 kicks off, that contract is being shredded. An analysis of over 4,000 recent passenger reports, financial filings, and internal policy changes reveals a new, brutal reality. This isn't just about bad food. It's about a systematic dismantling of the cruise experience. From the king of nickel and diming to the line that's become a floating frat party, these are the 6 cruise lines setting a dangerous new standard for 2026, why they're doing it, and where you should take your money instead. Here is exactly which lines are falling the fastest. At number 6, Princess Cruises. We begin here because the data shows the smallest decline, about 10%. Now, on paper, that might not look catastrophic, but context is everything. These are the lowest satisfaction ratings Princess has seen in years, and the comments reveal a line suffering from a massive identity crisis. When you dig into the reviews, the complaints aren't random. They are specific, consistent, and reveal a brand in turmoil. First, the fleet is suffering from a massive divide. On one end, you have the older ships. Loyal cruisers are bluntly stating these vessels feel dated, with frequent comments demanding that ships either be refitted or retired. They are dragging the brand's average down. But the new ships aren't saving the score. The opinion on the latest class, the Sun and Star Princess, is sharply divided. While these are marketed as the future, many traditional fans find these megaships simply too big. The layout is polarizing, and the decor is frequently criticized for not feeling princess enough. It's a departure from the brand's heritage that isn't landing with their core audience. Then there is the food. It is officially a mixed bag, dragging on their ratings. While there are indicators that Princess has attempted to upgrade dining in some areas recently, the volume of complaints tells a different story. The comments are flooded with reports of food lacking quality, lacking taste, and menus that have become painfully repetitive. Even if improvements exist in pockets, they aren't reaching the average passenger consistently. Service follows the same pattern. The crew is still widely praised for being friendly. That hasn't changed. But the capability to deliver service has. The recurring theme is that staff seem stretched thinner than ever before. This is the direct mathematical result of these new, bigger ships carrying far more guests combined with fuller sailings across the fleet compared to recent years. The ratio is broken. Even the technology is failing. The wearable medallion and the Princess app, supposedly their competitive advantage, are seeing mixed reviews, with a spike in complaints about crashes and general reliability. It works until it doesn't. The verdict? Recent cruisers feel Princess is drifting. They are moving away from their premium roots and closer to the mainstream category. As the ships get bigger and the marketing pivots to attract younger couples and families, the reviews suggest that Princess's traditional couples, the people who built this brand, are seeing the line in a much less positive light. They are being left behind. At number 5, MSC Cruises. They have seen a decline of about 14%, but that number hides a harsher reality. Their ratings were already at the bottom of the pack, hovering around a 3.2 out of 5. So they didn't just fall, they fell from the basement. And the comments reveal exactly why. MSC has always been the most divisive line in the industry. There is zero debate about the hardware. Everyone agrees the new class of ships, like World Europa and Seashore, are stunning. They get constant praise for their design, architecture, and visual appeal. But once you step on board, the narrative changes. The overwhelming consensus from passengers is that things simply do not run smoothly. This operational failure is what keeps dragging their ratings down. Reviews are filled with descriptions of chaotic queues and disorganization at every turn. A major driver of this is the sheer density of the crowd, because MSC aggressively targets families with kids sail-free promotions. They are consistently sailing well beyond double occupancy. They aren't just selling cabins, they are filling every third and fourth bunk with children, creating a passenger count the ship's layout simply struggles to handle. Dining is another consistent pain point. The words appearing most often in reviews are damning, inconsistent, lukewarm, and downgraded. Then there is the service, specifically customer service, which is widely seen as hit and miss. Staff are often described as unhelpful, abrupt, or offhand. This friction is particularly acute on United States sailings, where passengers are accustomed to and expect a more attentive, friendly American style of service that MSC is failing to deliver. However, there is one specific area that still scores consistently well: the Yacht Club. This ship-within-a-ship enclave is the outlier. It continues to be rated highly for offering great value and a genuinely premium experience that stands in stark contrast to the rest of the vessel. The analysis of the last few months is clear. While the new ships are undeniably beautiful, the reality of inconsistent service, packed decks, and average food is dragging the ratings down. Even the dangerously low, attractive fares are no longer enough to distract passengers from the chaos on board. At number 4, a genuine shock: Royal Caribbean. For a line that usually dominates the industry, a ratings crash of over 16% is massive. On paper, they should be untouchable, but the data shows that even the king of the seas is starting to crack. This is a brand known for the constant launch of innovative megaships, delivering incredible entertainment, aqua shows, Broadway productions, ice skating, and massive features like flow riders, slides, and zip lines. On paper, they should be untouchable, but the armor is starting to show. The fleet is divided, and the older ships, of which there are many, are increasingly dragging the ratings down. Cruisers are describing these vessels as shabby, run down, and past their prime. There is a prevailing feeling that the line's attention, and of course the money, is going exclusively to building and launching the new, ever bigger ships, leaving the classics to rot. However, even the new giants like Icon and Star of the Seas aren't immune. While cruisers really like the hardware itself, ratings are getting pulled down by the sheer density of people. As these ships sail very full, complaints are mounting about struggling to find lounges, facing long queues, and dealing with an overworked crew. And let's be precise about the crowds. Ships are fuller these days than they have ever been before. The data shows these ships are consistently sailing at 110% of double occupancy. That means every sofa bed is full, every upper bunk is down, and the buffet was designed for 2,000 fewer people than are actually eating in it. You aren't just imagining the crowds, the math is against you. Dining has also become a friction point. It appears to be a bit more hit and miss recently. While people don't complain extensively about the food, specific phrases like repetitive menus and mass-produced are appearing more frequently in reviews. We are seeing reports of shrinkflation reaching the dessert station. Cruisers are posting photos of cake that is actually just 95% crumbles served in a shot glass covered in whipped cream. It looks fancy, but it's a cost-cutting trick to stretch one sheet cake to feed 1,000 people. And like several other lines on this list, Royal is facing a surge in complaints about nickel and diming. There is growing frustration over extra charges for things people believe used to be included, along with constant aggressive upselling for drinks, dining packages, and Wi-Fi. Even if the onboard reality hasn't changed dramatically in a functional sense, perception matters. And right now, the perception is that Royal is giving less and charging more. While they are still delivering great entertainment and innovative feature-packed ships, that signature wow factor seems to be fading just a little bit. At number 3, Norwegian Cruise Line. Here, the decline deepens to over 20%. But if you have been watching the industry, this crash isn't a shock, it is a consequence. It is the direct result of a series of controversial cuts and policy changes that have finally pushed their loyal fan base too far. The list of takeaways is exhaustive. They now charge for extra entrees in the main dining room. They stopped delivering the printed daily program to your room. Now you have to specifically hunt one down or request it. They limit door decorations. There is a fee if you miss specialty dining reservations, and cabin servicing was cut a while ago to just once a day. Plus, they have replaced some major Broadway shows with cheaper in-house productions. The result of all this? Review after review stating that everything that used to be included now costs extra. While Norwegian has always operated on a low entry fare model with optional add-ons, cruisers seem to feel the balance has tipped too far. The commentary on dining is equally harsh. Menus are described as smaller, food quality is more inconsistent, and specialty dining keeps getting pricier. Entertainment, once a stronghold, is these days called less exciting and less innovative than it used to be. And just like with Royal Caribbean, the older ships are pulling down the reviews. These vessels are seen as more run-down, dated, and tired, fueling the belief that the line is focusing its money solely on new ships while neglecting the existing fleet. But even the new ships are dividing cruisers and dampening reviews. The new Prima class has a very different layout compared to other Norwegian ships. While the decor has its fans, many longtime Norwegian loyalists find the layout confusing and many of the venues simply too small for the passenger count. And if you travel solo, NCL used to be your best friend. Now they are ghosting you. They are reducing solo studio cabins on newer ships and messing with the pricing. Commenters are explicitly stating they are canceling NCL bookings because the solo-friendly line has become the solo-hostile line. Overall, reviewers these days are more likely to describe Norwegian as a cheapened version of the line they once loved. Too many cutbacks, too many changes, and simply not enough of that freestyle fun the brand built its name on. At number 2, the single biggest shock on this list, Disney Cruise Line. For decades, they have been considered untouchable, the gold standard of the industry. But the data is brutal. Their ratings have plummeted nearly 25%, falling from a near-perfect position straight down into the threes. So, what has gone wrong with Disney recently? The answer appears to be simple. Guests are consistently saying that prices are up way too much, and the experience is just not magical anymore. It is just expensive. In the reviews, this is very much the view of first-timers. These are passengers who paid a fortune expecting a very premium experience worthy of the high price tag, but came away disappointed. However, it isn't just new guests. Loyal Disney fans are talking much more about crowding than ever before. This is reported especially on those shorter Bahamas and Caribbean itineraries that the line runs frequently. And specifically on the Disney Treasure, their newest ship, the negative feedback on crowds is highest. This ship carries quite a few more passengers than the others, and that increased density seems to be fueling the complaints. Surprisingly, food quality has also taken a hit. Reviews are now mentioning meals that are bland, cold, and poorly presented. This represents a big shift from previous times where Disney dining was a highlight. There is also growing talk about nickel and diming. Even if the line hasn't technically increased these fees, the psychology has changed. When cruisers feel they are already paying way too premium prices, any extra charge stands out dramatically. People still praise the crew and the strong family focus. That remains intact. But there is a clear shift in tone. The verdict is now good, not great, not worth the price, and not as magical as before. While Disney, of course, still has massive family appeal and offers that unique immersive experience, it is suffering these days from simply not being seen as good value anymore. And finally, at number 1, the only line suffering an even bigger collapse than Disney, Carnival Cruise Line. The data here is staggering. In just the last 6 months, their ratings haven't just dipped. They have crashed by over 25%. So why has the brand eroded so fast? Like Norwegian, there has been a public and growing backlash to recent changes the line has made, especially the controversial shift in their loyalty program. The move from cumulative nights sailed to linking status with annual spending has sent a clear message. But this isn't just a policy update, it is a betrayal. Carnival has shifted the goalposts for their most loyal VIFP members. We are seeing verified reports from passengers with 40-plus days booked in 2026 who have canceled everything in protest. When you tell your most loyal customers they don't matter, you don't just lose a booking, you create an enemy. Many longtime guests feel penalized and undervalued. Even if they aren't actually leaving the line, that overall resentment is a major factor in this massive shift in reviews and ratings. Carnival has always positioned itself as fun, affordable cruising, but cruisers are saying it is losing that balance. Reviews from longtime Carnival cruisers, people who have sailed with them for 20 years, are now bluntly stating the product has drastically declined. Crucially, most reviews go out of their way to still praise the crew, calling them friendly, helpful, and the best part of the cruise. They say the problems are elsewhere. Food is a major weak spot these days, with many reviewers using words like bland, repetitive, and downgraded. Entertainment, too, is frequently called scaled back and less varied than in previous years. Then there is the atmosphere. There are frequent mentions of rowdy behavior, misbehaving kids running amok, drunken passengers, and of course, the occasional but well-reported fights amongst passengers. All of these incidents damage the line's image and reputation, and that damage is showing up in the data. And just like with Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, the older ships are dragging scores down. Carnival has a very large fleet of 29 ships, some almost 30 years old. A lot of reviews describe these ships and cabins as worn, tatty, and past their best. Although reviews of the newer ships like Mardi Gras, Celebration, and Jubilee are positive, the older vessels are definitely pulling the ratings down. While cruisers seeking a good value, fun-filled crews are still drawn to Carnival and their attractive prices, they seem to feel that things are not quite right recently. This is especially true for past loyal guests who are far more critical these days, likely because they are feeling undervalued by the very line they helped build. So, is cruising dead? No, but for many longtime passengers, the Big Six no longer makes sense. In fact, there are 3 specific life rafts that refugees from Royal, Carnival, and NCL are swimming to right now. First is Holland America. If the goal is to escape go-karts and screaming kids, this is where the adults are hiding. It is quiet, the food is consistently rated higher, and the ships are smaller. Second is Celebrity Cruises, specifically the Edge class. This has become the designated landing zone for Royal Caribbean refugees who want the modern hardware and design, but refuse to deal with the Mall of America crowds. And third is Virgin Voyages. For those who hate the nickel and diming, Virgin is the answer. No kids, no surprise fees once you're sailing, and food that actually tastes like food. But be warned, the vibe is very different. But what about you? Is the golden age of cruising officially over? Or are these lines just hitting a rough patch? Let me know in the comments below. The industry is changing fast, so make sure you are subscribed to stay ahead of the curve. For more practical tips to save you money and stress, check out this video next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.